She eventually started her own firm, Parent and Shelter. She met and married Eric Liebersfeld and moved kicking and screaming to New Jersey. They had 2 children, Jack, now 11, and Hannah, now 9. Susan stopped working for the time her children were 3 and 1, so she could focus all her efforts on aiding Jack, who had been diagnosed with PDB and OS. Susan and Eric moved to Florida in 2006. Here she started working again as a headhunter, a part-time spin instructor, and playing competitive tennis, and all the while working hardest at her #1 job of raising her 2 children. It is with pleasure that I bring up Susan to give us a few words of inspiration tonight to reach into our pockets and really make a difference in this county. With that, I'd like to bring up Susan.
Woohoo! Stopping.
Good evening. My name is Susan Liebersfeld, and I have an 11-year-old son, Jack, with Asperger's syndrome. By the time we moved from New Jersey to Florida 5.5 years ago, Jack had been in regular preschool, to a special needs preschool, to full-time regular preschool with a shadow, followed by lots of occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and social skills groups. Our goal was for him to get to mainstream kindergarten. Together with his team of teachers and therapists, and mostly through Jack's hard work, he was mainstreamed. After moving to Florida, my husband Eric met Glenn Stein, who told us about CARD. Glenn told us about how important CARD had been for his family. Shortly after that, we met with the folks at CARD. And although we did not feel like services were needed then, we were happy to learn about their organization and tell our story. I don't want to imply that Jack was all of a sudden typical, but rather that we had a handle on his issues and could work with him ourselves by facilitating social interactions and an occasional social skills group. As any parent knows, whether you have a typical child or one on the spectrum, each year comes with new developmental trials. Being parents of 2 children, we face challenges with our typical daughter as well, but we can usually navigate our way through those. Jack started middle school this year, and all of a sudden we were faced with new issues and a whole new set of circumstances that Eric and I were struggling to figure out. We were extremely concerned whether we could handle some of these new obstacles on our own. It was then that we re-engaged with CARD. We reached out and spoke to Barbara Flood, for the second time in 5 years. We entered her office as concerned, uptight parents seeking to help our son. I'm assuming many of you know that horrible, helpless feeling of having this perfect little being on the outside who's struggling internally, and you feel lost because you're willing to do anything, but not sure what that is or what that looks like. Eric and I sat with Barbara, who immediately had a calming effort on us. Not only were we not alone, we were no longer helpless. Everything I described to Barbara was typical Asperger's. She had seen it thousands of times before, and more importantly, she was going to help and support us. She gave us some ideas immediately and offered to come to our school, St. Andrews, and educate Jack's teachers. The date was set, and at 7:30 in the morning on a Friday in October, Barbara was there with her PowerPoint to stand in front of the entire middle school faculty and give a lesson on AS. The teachers were appreciative, and more importantly, they were now armed and ready to help. A second meeting was set to discuss specific strategies for Jack. Since the fall, there have been subsequent meetings, but Barbara has offered us, Jack, and the school so much more. She's become a huge support. She is an email or phone call away when I'm faced with an issue, concern, or sometimes want to check in to see if she agrees with a feeling or thought I might have. And trust me, I use that number and email address regularly. She has made herself accessible to any teacher if they need a new idea or are challenged by Jack's behavior. I've not found a time that she has been unable or unwilling to help. in any situation. She's going to do a workshop for some teenagers that will be facilitating Jack's social interactions this summer. These are some concrete ways that Barbara and Card have helped my family, but there are other things she has done probably without knowing. There are not two people with Asperger's who are alike. As a parent, it's an added frustration that what may work for one child does not work for another. You can network, you can share ideas, but there are no guarantees that another child's success will be yours. People can sympathize, but no one truly knows what you're dealing with. I suppose that can be said for any child with challenges. Having Card has not only helped us to achieve great success this year, but has been an emotional support to me. I no longer have that feeling of loneliness and fear of not knowing where to turn. Eric and I will do anything to guarantee Jack's success, but often don't know what to do. Barbara's calm demeanor is reassuring, and her expertise on the subject is abundant. It's like having a best friend that you can turn to, who will not only help with the challenges, but who also truly delights in the triumphs, both big and small. Recently, Jack addressed his entire grade and told them all that he had Asperger's. We came to this decision with the help of his school and the advice from Card. This for us has been a bit of a game changer, and it would not have happened without the support of Barbara and Card. The people at Card are understaffed, underfunded, and overworked. You would not know because they're always willing to help and do a remarkable job. Eric and I are fortunate to have the means to supplement Jack with after-school activities, a tutor, and other support that costs money. For many families, the only resource they have to help their child is Card. The work they do for us has been exceptional. The work Card does for hundreds of families each year is monumental. I don't know anyone who's not been touched in some way by autism. And as someone who is directly affected, I cannot stress their importance enough. I urge you to support their efforts. These are some of the best people on the planet, working hard to help some incredible and beautiful, yet challenged individuals strive to reach their potential so they may lead happy and productive lives. I thank you for listening.
Susan, thank you so much for those very motivational words. We're going to put one little addition in the program. I have been told